his father and mother and cling to his wife, and they become one flesh. So they are one. Women are extremely important. We cannot live without them. Amen? Amen. We cannot live without women. It's important to understand women are everything to us. And I'm hoping that the women will also think that men are everything to them. To reciprocate it. If you look at the Bible, it says that of those kings that were godly, it calls the names of their mothers. And even the ungodly ones too. Meaning that mothers, women, have an extremely important role to play in the salvation of the children. Extremely important. Very important role. The godly mothers had godly children. Ungodly mothers, ungodly children. So women are extremely important. But women today, we find that they are faced with so many health issues. Am true or no, God? It's true. Women have so many health issues today. Compared to 200 years ago, 500 years ago, women today have so many health issues. One of those health issues is bleeding problems. Women have abnormal and heavy bleeding. Another one is they have chronic pain. Pain that takes a long time. It disturbs their quality of life. And it's worse sometimes when they're seeing their periods. And then women also have pregnancy-related problems. So sometimes they miscarry. Sometimes they have complications when they're pregnant. Sometimes they have complications when they're delivering their children. Should women be dying from something that gives life? What do you think? No, they shouldn't be dying from a process that gives life. But we see women dying from pregnancy. In fact, this year in the hospital where I'm working, about 18 women have died already in the first 4 months of the year. 18. And we have tried our very best to save them, but unfortunately they have been dying. This is the sad reality. Women are facing so many problems. And today I was struggling operating on a cancer case. And I didn't have enough time to run through this presentation. That case took us 3.5 hours to remove a cancer. Women are also struggling with cancers. Ovarian cancer, cancer of the ovary, bilum bloquiao, cancer of the womb, endometrial cancer, cancer of the cervix. The cancer of the cervix is a bit different. It's a sexually transmitted infection. Cancer of the cervix and breast cancer. Our women are all struggling with all their issues. For the bleeding problems, we find that women should be bleeding at least every month, and that's normal. It should be for about 3 days. It should initially be light, then heavy, then get light again over the 3 days and finish. That should be a normal period. Some women may bleed for an extra couple of days, but it shouldn't be very heavy. But today we see women bleeding for a week, and it's really heavy. Sometimes we see women bleeding for months on end. Sometimes we see women not bleeding for months, 5-6 months, and then suddenly they bleed and it's extremely heavy. So they have periods that are all over the place. The normal period is like this. The egg gets ready over 2 weeks and then it is released. And then the body waits for 2 weeks for a pregnancy. The egg only lives for 1 day. So on the day it's released, 1 day to become fertilized. But the body waits 2 weeks. Is there a baby coming or not? And then finally at the end of the 2 weeks, it sheds off all the decorations it prepared for the person that was supposed to come. So we see the period. So 2 weeks of the egg coming, 1 day the egg is released, 2 weeks of waiting, nothing, the period is coming. So that's a 4-weekly cycle. Every month they see their period. And it should be like that. So the thing that makes the period constant is the release of the egg, what we call ovulation. That one makes it constant, makes it a monthly cycle. Some women may see it 1 week earlier, some women may see it 1 week later, but it should always be regular. Same time the following month. Some women are also having pain, and this is not normal. There shouldn't be any pain with a period. If you're feeling pain with a period, that's not normal. You shouldn't feel any pain at all with your periods. Now, what do you think is the problem? What's happening? Why are women having all these problems? And you see, the underlying problem has something to do with hormones. And hormones, we need to understand a bit more about them. What are hormones? Did you know that cholesterol, the thing we call fat, one of the main things from fat is cholesterol. Cholesterol is one of the main types of fat. Did you know that our hormones come from cholesterol? That's the main one. Cholesterol is fat, and our hormones come from fat. So this is why God said, if you eat the fat thereof or the blood thereof, it's an abomination to me. It is sin against me, because when I see those things, those are life. So blood gives life, and also fat gives life as well, because our hormones come from there. So cholesterol, if you look at it, it gives the male hormones, and it also gives the female hormones. The same one. The things that we need to make us men, the things that we need to make us women. That comes from fat. So there is a problem when you and I have too much fat. Are you following? Too much fat. Now I'm not talking about people being big. I'm talking about too much fat coming into the system. So hopefully you understand. We'll keep going. So what happens when there's too much hormones or too much fat causing too many hormones? What happens to the system? So when we look at the bleeding problems, the hormones that come from fat, when they come into your system, they make everything grow. They make the breast tissue grow, they make the womb tissue grow, and they go and force the ovary to also experience growth. And all that growth might seem like a good thing, but over a long time, it can lead to problems. It can lead to sickness and cancer. For the womb, it causes the tissues to overgrow. As a result, when the woman sees her period, it's very, very heavy because a lot of tissue. And for the breasts and the ovaries, it can lead to cancer over time as well. You don't want too much hormones. Just the right level. Too much leads to problems. And for some women, we also notice that when they have too much female hormones, it shifts into making male hormones. And these women start to have mouse grass, hair on their face, hair on the tummy, thicker hair around the body. And that's because the male hormones are now working in the system. And because they are male hormones, the body will not ovulate. The egg won't come. So it disturbs their ovulation too, and they struggle to get pregnant as well. And that's just from having too much hormones. You must have the right amount. If it's too much stimulation, or if it's too much, you lead to male hormones. So you have problems coming. And they have bleeding problems as well. They won't bleed as much. They'll take a longer time in between. Another thing that will happen when you have too much stimulation. Sorry, the picture is not too clear. Oh, it is. My screen is tiny. Your screen is huge. Can you see those little black dots on the womb? This is a picture of the womb. And on the side, the bilum for the baby. And on the side, we have the bilum for the eggs, which is the ovaries, right and left. And then the tubes that carry the eggs from the ovary to the bilum for the baby. I call it the highway blokiao. Highway for the egg. So, can you see those black dots there? Yes? Those black dots are actually period blood. The menstrual blood. You see, women are supposed to have the lining of the womb inside the womb. This like inside karama bilum blo baby should be inside the bilum for the baby. But for women who have too many hormones, some of them will end up having the lining of the womb in the wrong place. It will grow in the wrong place. There are certain things that will happen, but it ends up growing in the wrong place. And when it's in the wrong place, they also menstruate in the wrong place. So those black dots is actually from menstruation, bleeding in the wrong place. It can be on the tubes, on the womb, on the top, on the bilum for the pispis, bilum for the pekpek, on the ovary, on the intestines, anywhere. And it can cause severe pain for them. This is how it looks when we put a camera into the womb. This is a simple one, but the simple one can cause a lot of pain. There's ones that is so bad that it actually causes the intestines to stick to the womb, and it causes a lot of damage to everything. And some women can become infertile from this. We call that condition endometriosis. Endo for inside, metri meaning the womb. So inside karama blow womb or inside lining blow womb, osis in the wrong place. The lining of the womb is in the wrong place. Endometriosis. A lot of women today are having this condition. A lot of women today. More than before. More than before. Cancers too are on the rise. Cancers are on the rise. Cancer of the ovary, cancer of the womb, it's on the rise. So the question is this. Where are we getting all these hormones from that are causing a lot of problems? Where do these excessive hormones come from? Where do you think? Believe it or not, these excessive hormones come from animal meat. One of the places. Because animal meat has what inside it? Fat. And fat is where the hormones are. So animal meat has a lot of fat. Even if you eat the chicken, you remove the skin, it still has a lot of fat. The reason why the meat is soft is because it has fat in it. If you remove the fat, the meat becomes hard. And it's tasteless. It's tastier with meat. That's why, tastier with fat. That's why people love lamb flaps. That's why it's tasty, because of all the fat. Another place you get a lot of hormones from is dairy products. All the things like milk, cheese, butter, ice cream. That gives a lot of hormones that your body doesn't need. Remember, the milk is to grow a what? What is dairy products? What is the milk used for? It's to grow a what? Cow, not to grow a human being. So that's why we grow bigger when we take a lot of milk. Not as big as a cow, but you understand where I'm going. Another place you get a lot of fat that leads to more hormones is where? Fast foods. And that's a really bad thing for a lot of us today. A lot of us love fast foods. And don't forget all the sweet things, because they contain a lot of hidden fats inside too. Even the cakes have milk and butter inside. And then you look at all the pastries, they have milk and butter inside. Even the sauces and the creams, mayonnaise, a lot of these have hidden fats inside. So there's a lot of places where you're going to be having fat. And when you get sugar in, it makes the problem worse with your hormones. Sugar doesn't go well with fat. So what can our women do today? What do you think? What do you think our women can do to be healthy? If you want to avoid all the problems we talked about, the simplest thing you can do is choose to live a healthy life. That's all. It's not complicated. You know, many women, they come and see me, they want me to give them medication. They want me to give them a bottle of tablets. When I tell them how to live their lives, what to eat so that they can get better, they look at me like, so doctor, are you going to give me anything else? That's all you need. You see, my brothers and sisters, sometimes we are looking for something that we don't need at all. What we really need is to follow and obey what the Lord has given us. And we can find health and healing and peace. And you know, if a woman is unhealthy, you have to remember that the woman is everything. The woman is looking after the children. The woman is with the husband. So the whole family gets affected when the woman is down. So please, women, don't forget how important you are to us men and to the whole world and to the gospel ministry. May God bless you all.